Hi, you guys. It's Yaz. And so many people ask, well, how am I going to know if I'm dealing with a narcissist? How do you weed out the narcissist? You've got to be able to recognize the red flags when dealing with somebody who's narcissistic. But understand this, narcissism is on a spectrum. So, people like to say, well, everybody's narcissistic, okay? Like we all can be a little selfish at times or, be into ourselves at times. It's on a spectrum where somebody could have, some empathy. And then there's people that have zero empathy and that are very cold and detached and aloof, and they'll leave you for dead. So what you have to do when you want to weed out the narcissist is you want to recognize, is this person narcissistic and how narcissistic are they? So what are some things to look for? I'm going to talk about them, things to look for when you're, meeting people. First of all, notice the conversation that you have with this person. Are they constantly talking about themselves the whole time? Does the conversation, revert back to them? Like you could be talking about yourself and then they interrupt you. That's another thing that a lot of narcissists do is they constantly interrupt you, okay? They're not interested in what you have to say. A lot of narcissists, they may sit there, let you talk, but they seem uninterested. They won't ask you questions about yourself. And you'll see that a lot if you're dealing with a narcissist who's after a supply of sex. They really don't care who you are. They just talk on the surface. They know they have to have a little conversation with you, to try to pretend that they're interested. But, they really don't want to get in deep with you and talk and find out who you are. They don't want to hear about your history. The only thing they may want to hear about is if you got played in the past, because then they know they can play you in the future. But the narcissist that's after money is the most deceptive narcissist out there because they will show you the most attention. They will let you have the floor. They will let you talk about yourself. They're going to be asking you questions about yourself. They want to see what you have. So they're going to, try to flatter you. They're going to be very charming. They're going to seem very sympathetic to you. They're going to try to show you fake empathy. They're going to act concerned. They're going to be helpful. Because, they're going to put the work in. So when you meet somebody, you guys, one of the things you got to recognize is, if they're overly nice. I always say, if they're over the top nice, that's the more you have to watch out for that person, okay? And people come back and say to me, well, that's not true. There's a lot of nice people out there. You can't make people always look at someone just because they're nice. I'm talking about over the top nice. Somebody who doesn't really know you, but they're going out of their way to do favors for you, or they're giving you money. In some cases, a narcissist will actually give you money or give you gifts in the beginning. They're not going to give it to you later on because they're looking at the big picture. They want to earn your trust because they know the payoff later on down the road is going to be bigger. So understand this when you're weeding out the narcissist. Notice who's overly nice to you for no apparent reason and they don't really know you, okay? And you've got to say to yourself, well, this person could be nice or this person could be after something. And the only way you're going to know is in time. Because eventually, if they're after something, they're going to bring up financial things in conversation. They're going to start asking you about money, or they're going to talk about money, or they're going to talk about your assets, or they're going to talk about your home. I always say, when you listen to what comes out of somebody's mouth, you know what's on their brain a lot of times. They give themselves up. Narcissists tell on themselves because they'll bring it up in an indirect way. They'll talk about, oh, my friend, they have a beautiful house or something like that, or they have so much money in the bank, or they'll talk about their kids or something like that, like, oh, I want to have, something for my kids later on. I want to think about leaving something for my kids. They'll do it indirectly so that you don't think that they're directly asking you about money so that they can bring up the topic of money, all right? But they're bringing up money, so that's a red flag. So you want to look at all these kind of things. You want to look at, are they talking about themselves all the time? Are they bringing up financial things? Are they talking about sex? You also want to look at their pattern of behavior, okay? What does that mean? When they come on really strong, really fast in the beginning, it is a big red flag, okay? Because you've got to say to yourself, why are they coming on so strong? And they'll pretend like, oh, they're just so enamored of you. Oh, you're what I've been looking for and everything like that. And, you've got to question it, because you got to say to yourself, either this person really doesn't, get it, what it's like to be in a relationship, it's puppy love, or they're after something, okay? In either case, you've got to slow this person down. And you'll know you're dealing with somebody who's narcissistic because they don't want to slow the relationship down. A narcissist wants to move quick with it. They want to nail you. They want to know that they've got you. They want to know that you trust them. The other thing to look up for when you're trying to weed out whether somebody is a narcissist, you guys, is, whether they're bad-mouthing their ex all the time. And this can go both ways. A lot of narcissists will, talk badly about their exes, and they'll say their ex did everything bad to them when it was them who did it. In other words, they'll say, my ex was always cheating on me, when they were actually the ones that were cheating on their ex. You've got to look at things, too, is to whether they're still in contact with their ex. Oh, me and my ex, we're still on good terms. We just grew apart or something like that. That is suspect, okay? And you have to say to yourself, well, are they still having something to do with their ex, or did their ex break off from them because they did something bad and they're trying to get back with their ex, and now they're talking to me and they're trying to pretend that they're single to me? When you find somebody who's not still talking to their ex, okay? That's a window for them to fall back on. You don't know what's going on there. You're not going to get the truth for months down the road, or sometimes longer, to find out what it's all about. The other red flag, you guys, when you're trying to weed out whether you're dealing with a narcissist is, whether they validate you, okay? In other words, when you say something, do they acknowledge what you're saying? See, a covert narcissist won't acknowledge what you're saying. A lot of times, covert narcissists just sit there in silence and don't say anything. So you're not validated, and you keep repeating yourself, and you're like, well, do you agree? Or, do you understand where I'm coming from? It's like you're begging them to agree with you because you want that validation of knowing that, they acknowledge what you're saying. But covert narcissists don't do that. Covert narcissists stay very reserved. They don't tell you what they're thinking. They smile a smirky smile. And also, when you're weeding out the narcissist, you've got to study the body language of people, okay? In other words, are they rolling their eyes all the time? Are they smirking? Are they being sarcastic? When you're dealing with these are all signs of a covert narcissist. When you're dealing with somebody who's sarcastic, that is a huge red flag. That is somebody that can't be, transparent, because they have to use sarcasm to get their point across. So I always tell people, when you're dealing with somebody and they say, I could be sarcastic at times, that is somebody to watch out for, because that is somebody who's not going to come out and tell you how they feel. They're going to do it with sarcasm, and you're not going to know if that's really how they feel or they're just trying to be funny. And believe me, this is awful, because I dealt with somebody like that. Half the time I'm like, does he really mean that? Does he not mean that? And it was all sarcasm. And that is a red flag that you are dealing with somebody who, that if you had to sit down and have a conversation or resolve conflict with, they are going to gaslight you. They're going to sit there and say, I don't know what you're talking about, or it didn't happen like that. So in order to weed out people as well, whether they're narcissistic, you've got to see if they gaslight you. So what does that mean? That means that when you have confrontation with them, are they able to take accountability? Are they able to say, yeah, I'm sorry, I was wrong, or, I shouldn't have done that, or I'm sorry, I'm late, or I acknowledge that. Or are they going to say something like, no, you told me it was 9 o'clock. You didn't tell me 8 o'clock when you know it was 8 o'clock that you told them to meet you. So the minute you see any kind of gaslighting, the minute that you see, any kind of shady business is the minute that you have to step back from this person and say, I can't trust this person. All right. Now, once you recognize that you're dealing with a narcissist, the first thing that's got to come into your mind is, I'm dealing with a liar. I'm dealing with somebody that I can't trust. I'm dealing with somebody who has secret connections on the side. And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're having sex with people on the side or situationships, but it does mean that they are talking to people that you don't know about, because narcissists do this. They don't just deal with one person. They deal with a multitude of people. There is always a backup plan with a narcissist, okay? Now, another red flag in weeding out the narcissist is how dependable they are, okay? Narcissists are very dependable in the beginning, and then they fall off, okay? The more they get used to you, the more they know they got you, they're going to not be so reliable. They're not going to have that fake, phony front up because they don't have to. So they're going to cancel on you a lot of times, or they're going to ghost you. They love to ghost you. They'll say, oh, I fell asleep. Or they'll say something like, oh, my phone battery died. Or I didn't have my phone on me. These are all ways that, they try to get out of contacting you because they have other things going on. They may have other supply that they're seeing, or they may have somebody already that you don't even know about. All red flags you could be dealing with a narcissist, okay? The other red flag, too, in weeding out the narcissist is if you tell the narcissist a sob story, okay? You've got to see how empathetic they are, because really narcissism is based primarily not only on them getting plenty of admiration, but whether they give you empathy, okay? How empathetic is this person? If you said to this person, could you go out at like 10 o'clock and go pick up my medicine at the pharmacy? Would they do that, okay? Or is this somebody that's selfish and be like, do it yourself, or they'd avoid you and wouldn't pick up the phone? See, when the going gets tough, the narcissist gets going, and especially the covert narcissist. This is when they hide out and they turn their phones off or they disappear. They have every excuse under the book. So how do you weed out the narcissist? Are they giving you a lot of excuses why they can't do something? The other major red flag, you guys, in weeding out a narcissist is to not believe what comes out of people's mouths. It's not what they say, it's what they do. So do their words and their actions match up? If they say, oh, well, I could do this for you, and then they don't do it, that is a red flag, okay? That is somebody that's talking shit. And that's somebody that you can never trust or rely on. And that usually, you guys, is a red flag. You could be dealing with a covert narcissist, because covert narcissists do this all the time. They make promises that they don't fulfill, okay? To your face, they tell you all these wonderful things. Oh, I could help you with this, or I could do that for you. And then when you call them down the road, they don't pick up their phone, they disappear, and they come back with a lame excuse like they were sick or, something came up, all right? So if you find that you're getting constant excuses, you're dealing with somebody who's full of shit, and you're probably dealing with a covert narcissist, okay? So the other thing, too, that you want to also, when weeding out a narcissist, is you want to see how they are with other people, okay? Are they overly nice to everybody else and they're so-so with you, okay? Or they're cold to you. In other words, you go out with them and they're so friendly to everybody else in the room, and you are sitting there like you don't even exist. You could be dealing with a covert narcissist, because this is exactly what they do. They try to win people over. Once they know they've got you, they don't have to impress you, but they're always out there trying to play the good guy, and they make you look like the bad guy, okay? Covert narcissists will kill you with coldness, okay? They'll kill you with showing you no affection. So if you're dealing with somebody who's not affectionate, okay, they tell you one thing, oh, I love you, oh, I can't wait to see you, and then you see them and they're cold as ice. They don't even care about putting their hand out to you. That is what you believe. You believe how they are with you, and you believe their body language. That is a red flag, okay? So we're talking about weeding out the narcissist. The other thing, too, is you've got to look how controlling they are. When you're dating somebody or something like that, you've got to see, do you always have to go to where they want to go? Are they able to bend and go where you want to go? Or they've got to always call the shots? They've got to be the one always driving the car. They've got to be the one always picking the restaurant. They've got something to say about something in the restaurant. They want this table. They want that food. They've got constant criticisms of everything. When you're dealing with somebody who's constant criticizing other people or other things, guess what? They're going to be criticizing you as well, okay? And narcissists are famous for being critical, okay? They always find fault in people. They're never satisfied, okay? This is why they are impossible, because nothing will satisfy a narcissist. So if you're dealing with somebody who's very fucking difficult, all right? You see this a lot in holidays and birthdays. Narcissists are difficult. They're always going to have something to bitch about. And why is that? Because they need to control the situation. They also hate when they see other people happy. Okay? Narcissists are miserable people inside that have a black hole inside them. And when they see other people happy, or it's somebody else's birthday, or somebody else is getting, praise or getting some kind of, award or something like that, a narcissist can't handle it, okay? They're going to either talk about themselves or they're going to dismiss the other person because they can't handle other people getting praised. Another red flag, you guys, is when you're nice to other people, it's going to bother the narcissist because the narcissist wants to be the one who is the center of attention. They don't like when you're showing empathy to other people or you're showing other people kindness or something like that because it takes the attention off them. They want the attention on them. So they're going to either criticize you, oh, why do you got to be so friendly with this one? Or stop talking so much. Or something along those lines. They're going to criticize how you are with other people. Oh, why are you always doting over the kids? Or something like that. Because it bothers them that you are giving somebody else attention and they're not getting the attention. A lot of narcissists are jealous of their children, okay? They're jealous of the attention you give children. They're jealous of, so many things. That's another red flag that you are dealing with a narcissist. They're very, very jealous, okay? The other thing that you have to understand, which could be a weed out of a narcissist, is a narcissist is a basic insecure person. So what a lot of narcissists do in the beginning, and this is a red flag as well when weeding out a narcissist, is when they're trying to constantly impress you, okay? If you're dealing with somebody who's constantly trying to impress you, oh, I got that brand new car. Oh, I'm buying the biggest house on the block. Oh, my boss says I'm going to be the lead team player in the company or something like that. They're always trying to impress people, or when you're out with them, they're always trying to impress people. That is a red flag. You could be dealing with a narcissist. Another red flag, you guys, is they're overly obsessed with their appearance. A lot of them, they'll be overly obsessed with their appearance. They'll be standing and staring at a mirror for 2 hours, not to make sure that there's not a hair out of place or anything out of place, because they're worried about their image. They're worried about what people think about them. Narcissists constantly worry what people think about them. So they're hypercritical, and they'll be hypercritical of you if you're with them. If you go out with the narcissist and they feel that you're not to par, they're going to criticize you because they're going to worry what people are going to say, that they're going to be judged by how you look, okay? So the bottom line is they are impossible. A narcissist is impossible because they got to have the constant attention on them. They are, they are liars. They are gaslighters. They tell you one thing and they do another. And they have no empathy when you are sick or you're going through a rough time. They will disappear or they will tell you that you're over dramatic, okay? One thing you've got to understand when you're dealing with a narcissist, if you call them out for something, if you're dealing with a covert narcissist, they will say that you are an angry person. They will say that you are a crazy person. They will discredit you because you are calling them out and they don't want to take accountability. And this is how they do it, okay? Or they'll say, oh, you're all about the drama, when actually they're the ones who are about the drama, because what they do is they project it. They project all of their shame onto somebody else. So here's the rule, you guys. Whatever they say that they are the opposite. So when they say to you, oh, you can trust me, you know you can't trust them. When they say, I would never lie to you, you can bet they're going to lie to you. When they say, I would never cheat on you, I know what it's like to be cheated on, I know what that pain is, they are a cheater, okay? And this is exactly what a narcissist portrays. When you meet a narcissist in the beginning, they portray the exact opposite of who they are. They'll say that they're religious when they're not because they know you're into religion, all right? This is how they try to fool you. They will mirror you in the beginning to see what you're like. Oh, I like that too. Oh, I'm into horses. Oh, I love dogs. Let's get a dog together. Or something along that line. They'll mirror you and, the person will be too good to be true. Okay, that is your red flag. They are too good to be true. And what you have to say when you're trying to say, is this real or is this not real? You'll know in time because they won't be able to keep it up. After about 6 months, the mask is going to start to drop. Sometimes it drops sooner. And, they're not going to be so accommodating. They're not going to be so easy to deal with. And I always say, here's the rule, you guys. You're going to know if you are dealing with a narcissist by how they deal with conflict. How does that narcissist fight, okay? If you're dealing with a narcissist, they can't sit at the table and work things out, okay? Because they won't acknowledge your point of view. They don't care what you have to say, even if you're speaking the truth. They don't care. They want to be right, okay? They want to win. They want to be right. They don't want to face shame. So when you have conflict with a narcissist, that's when you're going to really know whether you're dealing with a narcissist, because a narcissist will not be able to resolve conflict with you. They're going to call you crazy. They're going to yell and scream and get in your face if you're dealing with an overt narcissist, or if you're dealing with a covert narcissist, they'll call you crazy. They'll dismiss you, they'll stonewall you, and they'll walk out and not let you finish a sentence. That's if you're dealing with a covert narcissist. They will not even let you have the floor, okay? They will not even let you finish your argument, okay? They don't want to hear it, and they will go into silent treatment and then no contact, okay? That's how you're going to know, whether you're dealing with a narcissistic person, is whether they're able to resolve conflict and they can sit down and they can own it, okay? So these are all red flags to look at, and you'll know in time. When you first start going out with somebody, you've got to say to yourself, this is the trial period. Yes, they're wonderful. Yes, we have a lot in common, but I don't know this person. I don't know somebody in 3 months. I don't know somebody in 6 months. And then when you get into 6 months and a year and longer, you get to know them better, and their true core character will come out. The truth always comes out. What's in the darkness always comes into the light, okay? Like I had a woman on one of the posts, her ex had 4 women he was rotating, and then they all found out about each other, and he was dazed because he got busted. And I said to her, what's in the dark will always come out into the light. because they're doing shady shit, and eventually the truth always comes out, okay? So the longer you go with that narcissist, the more you're going to see what's real and what's not, and don't ignore the red flags. That's the tip of the iceberg of things to come. Okay, you guys? So these are the things to look at when you're trying to weed out whether you're dealing with a narcissist. And one last thing I want to bring up. One thing that a narcissist hates is when somebody has self-confidence. So when you show self-confidence, that narcissist will hate it. In other words, if you post a nice picture of yourself, let's say on Facebook or on your social media, that narcissist is going to say, you're so full of yourself. You got to post a picture of yourself. You know what it is? They don't want you to have the attention. So notice, what they say, and notice their body language if it bothers them, okay? Because if it bothers them, you're dealing with somebody who's competitive with you, and they don't like you getting any kind of attention or anybody admiring you, and you could be dealing with a narcissist. Remember, the way you know you're dealing with a narcissist is they've always got to be the authority. They always, some of them are braggers. If they're grandiose, they brag about everything. They're full of themselves. They don't let you get a word in edgewise, okay? And they will cut you up in time. They'll start to insult you in time, and they can't resolve conflict, all right? They'll give you the silent treatment. You're dealing with a narcissist. They can't communicate. They're dismissing you. You're dealing with a covert narcissist. They're calling you crazy. You could be dealing with a covert or overt narcissist, okay? They won't acknowledge you. They won't validate you. And they are not there for you, and they show you no empathy. You are dealing with a narcissist. So I hope that helps you. If it does, hit the subscribe button and please share the podcast. Have a great day. If you guys are having a problem in your dating or relationship, or you're dealing with somebody maybe that's narcissistic, you don't know if they're a narcissist, or you're just having problems, you're in a toxic relationship, and you need some clarity on it, go to the link in the podcast description for my website where I offer email and phone coaching. If you have a quick question, just a quick question, and you want to get a video sent back to you answering your question, there's also a link there for Vizio where I will send you a personalized video answering your question. Hi, you guys, it's Yaz, and I want to tell you about my 2 books on Amazon. The first book is Regain Your Power. It's all about power and relationship. Who has the power in the relationship? And it goes into all of that, okay? The other book is Signs He's Not Into You, He's Wasting Your Time, okay? Check it out. It gives you a lot of good clues as to whether you're with somebody who's a real one or somebody who's just going to waste your time. You could read them both with Kindle's free trial membership. So check it out. Link is in the podcast description. Hi, you guys. I just want to let you know that the Game Exposed now has their merchandise available. Check out the link in the bio, and you could go check it out. There's cool hoodies, cool sweatpants, cool hats. So go to the bio for the link. And also, don't forget to follow me on Facebook at The Game EXP 123, and also on Instagram, The Game EXP 123. Okay? And have a great day.